We've got 10 trade targets the Dodgers absolutely must consider if they want to win back-to-back World Series titles. Also, ESPN MLB insider Jeff Passan links the Dodgers with an elite closer. We've got some injury news. Michael Kopech has surgery. Blake Trinan begins his rehab. Blake Snell starts tonight. And what is going on with the Los Angeles Dodgers? Why have they fallen into this terrible slump headed into the All-Star break? If you've seen the Los Angeles Dodgers offense, please return them to Oracle Park when they take on the Giants. All that coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium. Dodgers win!
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam! It's a double for Freddie.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation Dodgers Dugout Live, #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube, presented by dodgersnation.com and gearup.la. If you're new to the show, do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers, and also let me know down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation poll question of the show, Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show. I asked you guys over on the X, do you expect the Dodgers to make a big trade at the deadline? If so, who? Who is it going to be for? And 73% of Dodgers fans right now expect a big trade at the deadline. And clearly they have some things to address. Clearly we have some things to discuss here on Dodgers Dugout Live. I've got a news segment I'm debuting later, and it's because you guys have asked me for this. It's a Dodgers Yoda segment where Yoda is going to be joining us to talk some Dodger baseball. So we've got a jam-packed show, off-day Dodgers talk here on Dodgers Dugout Live. And we've got so much Dodger baseball to get into, so let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball is that the Dodgers are mired in a really bad losing streak at the moment. And this is something that, like I've said all week, is a time-honored summer tradition. Life comes at you fast, but MLB comes at you faster. And after having a very successful June, the Dodgers have been free-falling in July. The Dodgers' 6-game losing streak is their worst since 2019. Their minus 34 run differential in this 6-game stretch is its worst since 1958 in a 6-game stretch. And yes, you had that 18-1 loss to the Astros, so that definitely makes it inflated. But the truth is, the Dodgers are losing ground in the National League West. They had built a 9-game lead in the division. It looked like it was SF equals season finished. It did look like SD equaled season done, but just like that, Giants win a couple games, the Dodgers lose 6 in a row, and just like that, the Dodgers are entering their biggest series of the season, and it is the one heading into the All-Star break. The Dodgers take on the San Francisco Giants in a 3-game set that starts tomorrow, and right now the Dodgers are sitting at 56-38, 5 games up on the Giants in the division, but it's not going to be easy to go up to San Francisco and dominate that team. It's a ballpark that they have had success throughout the years, but they've also had times where they haven't. And you look at the pitching matchups, you got to feel pretty good if you are the Giants, and if you are the Dodgers, you got to hope that your guys go up there and they have great starts as well. Friday, you've got Dustin May going up against Logan Webb. Logan Webb has been one of the best pitchers in baseball this season. Saturday, you've got a piggyback start. Shohei Ohtani and Emmet Sheehan going up against Landon Roop. And then on Sunday, the Dodgers ace tries to bounce back from his worst start of the season his worst start really of his career. Couldn't get out of the first inning, got just 2 outs in his last start on Monday against the Brewers. He goes up against Robbie Ray. The Dodgers have been great against lefties this season, so hopefully the Dodgers take 2 out of 3. You build that lead once again, but if you did, for whatever reason, have a bad series, if you did, for whatever reason, continue this slump, you could head into the All-Star break in a pretty bad spot, in a pretty scary situation where you're going into this break where your best players have been slumping for long stretches, where your players that you were hoping were going to be better this season that you signed in the offseason either haven't played very much. Blake Snell, 2 starts, I'm looking at you. Or the ones that haven't been as good as you had hoped. Michael Conforto, Kirby Yates, or Tanner Scott. And I think when you look at this Dodgers team, you definitely want to make sure that you are getting guys back and you're getting guys healthy. And that's where we get into some quick updates here. Blake Treinen, he did begin a minor league rehab assignment yesterday. He did pitch a perfect inning for AAA Oklahoma City. It was the first time he had pitched since April 13. He struck out the first 2 batters he faced. He got 2 swings and misses there to get those strikeouts. And then he generated some soft contact, got a ground out to third to finish a 12-pitch appearance for him. So he's on that 60-day injured list with right forearm tightness. So that definitely is encouraging. It was a great step in the right direction. But then the next big one is going to come tonight when Blake Treinen, his other pitcher that he's been kind of working through this rehab with, shares the same name, Blake Snell. He begins his rehab assignment, and that is going to be for Rancho Cucamonga. So he's starting tonight. Hopefully you get a couple innings out of him. And the big thing for him is how is he going to come out of it. It's the first time since he went down with that left shoulder inflammation in April that he's going to be on the mound facing hitters in a real game. So I'm very curious to see how it goes tonight for Blake Snell. We had a really good start yesterday from Tyler Glasnow, which was extremely encouraging. He threw his fastest pitch since 2021, was hitting triple digits. The curveball was great. The slider was great. You saw him working in that side step, and just the slide step was working for him. And he's just a guy that has incredible ceiling. And when he's good, he's great. And when he's healthy, he can go out there and compete with the best of them. Dodgers got 5 innings out of him. He gave up no runs on 2 hits, gave an unearned run on a Will Smith error on a throw to third. So that was definitely encouraging. And then there was the less encouraging news, the disappointing news about Michael Kopech. And since we last talked, Michael Kopech, the news came out yesterday that he actually had a surgery. He underwent surgery to address a torn meniscus in his right knee, and he's expected to return before the end of the season. But the big question yesterday was, wait a minute, Michael Kopech was supposed to have a brief stint on the injured list, that this was not supposed to be a lengthy stint, and Dave Roberts said as much. But as we always see with the Dodgers, it's going to be brief. Probably he's not going to need the IL. We're just getting him a couple days to see how he bounces back. Then, we're going to send him on the 15-day IL, the 10-day IL. And then, the next thing is, we're just going to cut off his arm and have it amputated. That's how it goes, right? It goes from, this is nothing to, no, we'll see him 5 years from now after he comes back from a lengthy rehab. But no, obviously, that's not the truth. I'm only kidding. And it's just frustrating because they've dealt with so many injuries. But with Michael Kopech, hopefully he can get back and help this team like he did last season. But it definitely is concerning. And for me, on a scale of 1 to 10, my Michael Kopech concern level is at an 8.5 because he had the inflammation, he has the knee injury, and it's just been piling up for him. And you look at just his history and the timeline this season, he was only placed on that 15-day IL on July 1st, and that was retroactive to June 28th. And at the time, Dave Roberts said, quote, I think we're all hopeful it will be on the shorter end of it. And then now we see what it has led to. He started the season on the IL with a shoulder impingement. He missed more than 2 months. And then he came back and he gave the Dodgers 7 shutout innings before going back on the IL. So Kopech is like Glasnow in a lot of ways, that when he's healthy, we know he's a baller. We know he's lights out. We know he's as good as it gets when he's at his apex, right? And he's pitching the way he's capable of. But still, now you look at the Dodgers bullpen without Kopech, and then you look at the list of names that aren't going to be available, and even the ones that they're hoping are going to be available, there's questions about. The bullpen is without Michael Kopech. He's on the 60-day IL. Evan Phillips is out for the season after undergoing Tommy John surgery. Blake Trinan started his rehab. Hopefully that progresses well. Brusdar Graterol, you're going to get back late in the season. Hopefully Michael Grove was really never an option. But I'm at the point where I'm saying what I've said this entire season, even when I was expecting a good amount of these guys to get back. They absolutely need to trade for a high leverage reliever. And I've got new, fresh names that we are going to get into in just a little bit. But welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. This is a live show and it is a off day, so I definitely want to get a lot of your comments here, because we got these 10 names. We got let's see, did it not update? Let's double check here. Mook needs to hit after a 5-6 position. Yeah, we're going to talk about the lineup too. And that's the thing here with this lineup as it stands. This lineup right now, I think that they're going to look at making some changes at some point if this is the production you're going to get. Because the Dodgers' #1 biggest problem right now is the offense. The team has scored 10 runs over their last 6 games. And 4 of those runs came in one game. They've scored just 1 run in 4 of these games. They haven't had an offensive cold streak like this since they had a 6-game losing streak that they had, which ended up being an 11-game losing streak back in 2017. Since June 1st, the Dodgers offense, they have a .237 batting average. That's 23rd in the sport. A .718 OPS. That's 17th. A .101 weighted runs created plus. That's 16th. So a lot of this offense that you saw for the first couple of months, that was led really by 4 guys mainly. And Freddie got off to a really hot start. Then he cooled off. But it was Shohei, Andy Pages, Max Muncy, Will Smith. Those 4 guys. Tommy had a hot start too, but really throughout the majority of the season, it's been those 4 guys. And even though the offense since June 1st has really been middle of the pack in Major League Baseball in a lot of different categories, since July, late June, in their last 12 games, since they left Colorado and have played series against the Royals on the road, the White Sox and Astros at home, and a 3-game set in Milwaukee, the Dodgers offense in the last 12 games has been non-existent. They've absolutely been milk box missing level offense. They have a 79 weighted runs created plus. Their .680 OPS in their last 12 games ranks 28th out of 30 teams. Their .206 batting average, 29 out of 30 teams. And what's really gone up is that strikeout rate. This is a Dodgers team that when they're at the best, when they're scoring tons of runs and passing that baton and having crooked number innings, you're seeing them see more pitches, not expand the zone, draw walks, and not strike out as much. And right now, in this last 12 games, the Dodgers are striking out over 25% of the time. That's 29th out of 30 teams in Major League Baseball. The offense has absolutely disappeared. The offense thought the All-Star break was at the end of June, not this Sunday. And for them to really get back on track against the Giants, they're going to have to string together some better at-bats. You're going to have things turn around because you're missing Max Muncy, because it doesn't look like Freddie Freeman's at 100%. It looks like that ankle's still bothering him. Mookie Betts is mired in his worst offensive season ever. And just look at these numbers. Look at these slumping numbers for the Dodgers of late. Mookie Betts' last 71 games has a 650 OPS and an 81 weighted runs created plus. And he's batting second in the order. There's no number 2 hitter in Major League Baseball that should have a 650 OPS and an 81 weighted runs created plus. If he was not Mookie Betts, with the track record that he has, he would have already been moved down the order weeks ago. Then there's Teoscar Hernandez. Last 41 games, Teo, 613 OPS, a 70 weighted runs created plus. So he's been 30% below average offensively. Tommy Edman, last 51 games, 602 OPS, 69 weighted runs created plus. Nice. Michael Conforto's last 72 games, 540 OPS, 60 weighted runs created plus. And then there is the most concerning one, and that is Freddie Freeman. Last 34 games for Freddie Freeman, he's posted a 537 OPS with a 51% weighted runs created plus. So 2 of the 3 MVP hitters have slumped significantly. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, they're not even combining to produce like Shohei Ohtani is. And Shohei hasn't even been at his very best, but still, he's still producing. And then Teoscar Hernandez, massive last season, made the All-Star team, Silver Slugger. He's down. Tommy Edman, down. Conforto's been down all year. So Mookie hasn't made the All-Star team. It's the first time in 5 years. So it's definitely a major concern. And you look at the Dodgers group project, and it's a lot of guys at the top with the guys we mentioned, Padres, Ohtani, Muncy. They have been their best hitters along with Will Smith. And I just will point this out. The Dodgers are the only team in Major League Baseball, that has their leading home run hitter batting leadoff. The only team in Major League Baseball that has that. It is definitely a concern. It's definitely a concern that you're not shaking things up just because you want those extra plate appearances. For me, the lineup that I want to see eventually is, if you're going to keep Betts in the top 3 of the order, I think you have to give it a shot at leadoff because that's where he's been the best offensively. I'd go Betts 1, Ohtani 2, Smith 3, Freddie 4. That way you got the staggering with the righties and lefties. Teo 5, Muncy 6, Pages 7, Edman 8, and then 9 Kim. So this is when Max Muncy comes back. And hopefully you add a trade in there somewhere. Right now, you can flip out Muncy for Rojas because Rojas has actually been their best hitter in the last couple of days, and he's really turned on with the bat. So you have no issue with Rojas there if he continues to produce like this. And I think the bottom of the lineup, you need Hyeseong Kim to get those reps if he's going to factor in to what this team does long term. But let me know down below in the comment section, what would you do to the lineup? How would you shake it up? Joseph H. says, Dmac has cursed us with his shoeys, didn't spread them out enough. I have done like 4 shoeys all year. We got Blue Madness, give me Aroldis Chapman or give me death. What is up, my man Tim Rogers? We will get into that in a second here. I got Aroldis Chapman. He's definitely on my list of top 10 Dodgers trade targets. BT Foul just making it look good for the papers, Dmac. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We got Dmac. They should have. They thought that last year too. 4-8 early June, July. Yeah, I pointed that out on this show. A very similar ending to the season. We won both Durans. That's from Mr. Classic. I mean, Jhoan Duran. I'm surprised that so many people won Jhoan Duran. I mean, I'll talk about that in the trade talk, but he's someone that I've heard really is not necessarily a guy they're definitely going to trade. I heard from a Pirates insider today that they will not trade O'Neal Cruz, that is not even worth discussing because it's not going to happen. And if you're looking for outfielders, it's going to be guys that are on shorter-term deals on expiring contracts. So let's get into that next. We will get into our Thursday trade discussion here on Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. Now, if you haven't yet, go to www.gearup.la. pick up the latest t-shirt, the CK3K 3000 strikeout shirt. King Kersh. This is going to be the last guy to ever have 3,000 strikeouts for the Dodgers. Probably one of the last ever in Major League Baseball history. It's a fire t-shirt. You got the crown. You got the Kersh animation where he's addressing his family and his fans and all that stuff. It's just a really awesome t-shirt. We got a lot of great t-shirts over there too. So go to www.gearup.la. We got the Hyeseong Kim Comet shirt, the Andy Pye has Big Dog shirt. Lots of great t-shirts over at www.gearup.la. Go over there today and pick up your shirt. Just a great t-shirt. You got black, blue, navy, and it really supports the channel. And if you're a big fan of the show, definitely want to support, definitely go over to www.gearup.la, the official merchandise store of the Dodgers Nation Dodgers Dugout Live show. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live. So, guys, it's Thursday, and you know that is when we focus on trade talk. We do a lot, anything related to trades, of course, but Thursday, off day, let's get into it. I got my top 10 trade targets right now, and also an ESPN MLB insider has linked an elite closer with the Dodgers. So let's get into that right now on the latest Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout Live rumors. All right, so here we go. So first thing I want to get into is this right here. This is from this morning. Jeff Passan, he dropped this on his column that he laid out a player that teams should consider that would really help that team. And here's what he had to say about Minnesota Twins super reliever Jhoan Duran. So Jhoan Duran is lights out. And you probably haven't heard of him as much as you've heard of guys like Emmanuel Clase and David Bednar and Aroldis Chapman, guys like that. But Duran is an absolute beast. Jeff Passan writes, the Dodgers enter every deadline season seeking a major move, and the 6'5", 230-pound Duran qualifies. With a fastball that averages over 100 miles per hour, a splinker that sits at 98, and a curveball to keep hitters off balance, Duran is pitching as well as ever. He hasn't given up a home run this season, and his 1.52 ERA is third in Major League Baseball for pitchers with at least 40 innings. The asking price will be hefty. Duran comes with 2 more years of team control beyond this season. The Dodgers don't have time to waste on taking advantage of Shohei Ohtani's prime, though, and assembling a team with standouts in all facets is a reasonable goal. For a group threatening to approach a major league record for pitchers used in a season, the Dodgers are at 35. The record is 42 from Seattle in 2019. Adding another wouldn't in and of itself be a needle mover. If that one happens to be Duran, the Dodgers could theoretically trot him out with Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, and Alex Vesia to make their bullpen every bit as scary as the rest of their team. So this is a suggestion. This is the prominent insider that is linking one of the best at his position to the Dodgers. He's not saying that there are conversations ongoing or that there's been communications between the Dodgers and the Twins. It is just a suggestion, and it is one that I absolutely love because Duran, he has the potential to be an absolute lights out, slam the door shut closer and reliever in October. And that's exactly what the Dodgers need. They need someone that you can pair with Tanner Scott and Alex Vesia and Kirby Yates, guys like that. But are you really feeling that great about that group? Are you really feeling that great about that group that has led Major League Baseball in innings pitched? And yes, the ERA is not even worth looking at or telling you because there's guys like Noah Davis and Lou Trevino and Matt Sauer. Just kind of list goes on about pitchers that aren't going to be included in this October bullpen that have inflated that ERA that they posted. So it's not even worth mentioning, but still, they're ready to go big. And by going big, you're only focusing on top guys that are better than what you have. And Duran certainly is that. I mean, let's just look at let's look at the pros. The pros of Duran, a 152 ERA elite. And then the expected stuff. Is he fluky, or does the expected stuff match what he's actually put up? Well, all the expected stuff, 239 expected ERA, 229 FIP, elite. Strikeout numbers, a 9.8 strikeouts per 9. That's not too explosive for him, but still, it's his ability to dominate hitters by the true fact that they just don't hit against him. I mean, his barrel percentage is 98 percentile and 2.8%. He misses barrels. Fastball velocity, 100.2 miles per hour on the heater, 100th percentile. If you look at his pitch mix, he's a guy that throws that split finger more than he does his four-seamer, and that's an elite pitch for him too. Opponents hitting 206 off it. He averages 97.5 miles per hour on his split finger. This dude is no joke. Have you seen his entrance music? Hot take, I think his entrance is better than Edwin Diaz's for the Mets. It would be the best entrance since peak California Love. In fact, I think it would be the best entrance music since Welcome to the Jungle with Eric Gagne. Nothing's going to top that. That's number one, right? That's number one. But this guy's got special stuff. He throws a split finger, a four-seamer, a knuckle curve, a sweeper, and absolutely the Dodgers should be looking at him. Now, the big question for the Twins, though, are they going to be true sellers? Are they going to be true sellers? And it kind of makes you wonder if that is going to be kind of their number one thing. Because if you look at the divisions right now, they're 3.5 games back of the Tigers in the AL Central. And then with the wild card, I mean, teams they talk themselves into thinking they're still in it. And right now they're 3.5 games back of the wild card. So if you want Duran, well, then you better root against the Minnesota Twins for the next month and hope they fall out of contention. Because for me, I want to take it a step further, and I want to get some bang for my buck. And a guy that I would like to see the Dodgers consider along with Duran, if they could get that deal done, which would be a big, massive coup in and of itself, is Will Castro. So one thing the Dodgers are going to be looking at is possibly some outfield help and guys that have some positional versatility. Who will be this year's Tommy Edman? And if you look at Will Castro, he's also on the Minnesota Twins. He's been really good this season. He's hit 269, 360 on base, but a 797 OPS, a 119 OPS plus. He's also on an expiring contract, and that's what the Dodgers are going to be looking at. Guys that they don't have to commit to long term. And Will Castro, he checks off a lot of those boxes. Not a great defender, but he's passable at multiple positions. So that's another bat that you want to consider if you're looking to go big. And then I've also talked about Byron Buxton. So Byron Buxton, we know that he has health concerns, but Byron Buxton would do a lot of things for this Dodgers team. One, he would solidify center field. He takes over center field, plays that at an above average level, and then you've got Teoscar Hernandez in right and Andy Pages in left. And then that improves the defense at two outfield positions because Pages is a better left fielder and a corner outfielder than he is a center fielder. And Byron Buxton has been absolutely raking this season. If Byron Buxton was on the Dodgers, he would be right there in the conversation as their second best hitter behind Shohei Ohtani. This year, Byron Buxton is hitting 270 with a 140 weighted runs created plus, so he's been 40% above league average offensively. He's got 20 home runs, 53 RBIs. Yes, he does get injured. He basically is the baseball version of Anthony Davis. But, hey, we saw Anthony Davis kind of get a little more durable last year, and he kind of put it together. And I think with Byron Buxton, it's not a contract that is bad. It's not like one of these 10-year contracts that you owe him over $200 million. He's owed $15 million a season for the next couple of seasons. So if the Dodgers really wanted to do an absolute blockbuster, then Byron Buxton and Duran would be that. And like I said, $15 million next year, $15 million in 2027, and $15 million in 2028. So you'd have him for 3 more years through his age 34 season. So, yeah, I mean, they don't have an answer for center field. And if you can keep him healthy, put him in a good situation, I mean, Buxton's the man. I mean, you would have to give up the Jackson Ferris types, the Zaire Hope types, the Josue DePaula types, possibly the Dalton Rushing types to get a deal done. But what's the motto around here? It's parades over prospects. I've come to the conclusion that you've got to front load these World Series titles with Shohei Ohtani for a couple of different reasons. One, because Freddie and Mookie, they're looking like they're already on the decline, even because their heights were so high. Like, any decline for Freddie and Mookie is still probably going to be better than most All-Stars, but they're already on their decline. And we have to accept that. Like I said, this is the Keep It 100 Dodgers show, right? Keep it a buck with you guys. And they still owe them money, and you want to take full advantage of that. And you also want to take advantage of Glasnow and Snell, who's 32, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto while he's healthy, right? I mean, the Dodgers should be all the way in. All the way in. And this is an all the way in move, because if you win a title this year, if you win a title next year, and then you never win another one with Shohei Ohtani, it still would be a ringing success. Because there's a big difference between a great team and a legendary team. Last year, the Dodgers, great team, one of the best Dodgers teams of all time, but no one's going to look back in the history of Major League Baseball and say, oh, yeah, we're making a list of the best Dodgers teams of all time, the best baseball teams of all time. Let's talk about the 2024 Dodgers, right? Because you only had 3 starting pitchers. You were missing a good amount of your starting rotation, right? And your bullpen had to carry you. If you go back-to-back, though, and you bring in these reinforcements and you add some pieces and you steamroll your way towards a World Series and Shohei pitches and wins a World Series MVP and this team goes back-to-back, then the Dodgers enter the conversation with the best teams in the history of Major League Baseball, even if they don't win 110-plus games. That's how good this could be, just because it's so rare in baseball to go back-to-back. So, hey, the Dodgers last year were a great team. The 2024 Dodgers were great. The 2025 Dodgers, though, they have an opportunity to be absolutely legendary and go beyond just being a great team for their franchise. They could go to the next level and just be one of the all-time great teams in the history of the sport. That is the opportunity that they do have. Okay, so let's get into my top 10 list right now. Let's take some of your comments here. Joseph H., I'm not mad at all. What am I mad about? Bilal K., exactly on Duran. I'm having a great day, man. David Lopez, Dodgers like expiring contracts and players, so they will most likely go after Cedric Mullins. We'll talk some Cedric Mullins here in a second here. D Powers _16 has his lineup. Pa has 1, Ohtani, Smith, Freeman, Mookie, Teo, Hernandez, Muncy, Conforto, Kim. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of low for Muncy. If he's hitting the way he was hitting, you want to keep him up. Give the Dodgers a tennis racket. That's from Psycho710. BT Fouts, I fully expect peak May versus Logan Webb. Yeah, May had his best start of the season against the White Sox for sure. Beersama, simple. Get rid of Conforto. Get a productive outfielder. Need a starting pitcher, maybe an infielder to make it easy on Rojas, Kike, and possibly Muncy. When he returns, he's a solid reliever. Like that. Sydney, need a new outfielder. Conforto ain't cutting it. Dmac, make a bench Conforto shirt. It will sell out. Okay, come on now. Come on now. You're going to get a bruh for that one.
Bruh.
Pennywise versus Todd from Breaking Bad, Beer Sama. That's got to be a comment of the show. That's got to be a comment of the show. Stop with the merchandise. Sheesh, Johnny Owen. Do you guys think this is a charity here? Think I can just do this for free? Come on, trying to keep the lights on here. That's not what this is. I mean, you guys watch a Dodgers game. There's an advertisement on their jerseys. There's commercial breaks. Everything is brought to you by something. I mean, what do you guys complain then? Just curious. I mean, come on now. DJ LeMahieu will be on the minimum. should they good? I'll talk about him during the 7th inning stretch for sure. Michael, Dmac, no way to the Dodgers get Chapman. They were about to trade for him years ago. Then the stories of domestic abuse, and they backed out of the trade. Yeah, that was a good amount of time ago. Makes you wonder if that would be a complete red flag for him in that situation. Mr. Classic, get Jhoan Duran and Buxton package. Still EJ, bring on Jose Ramirez. I've talked to some insiders for Cleveland, and it's a no-go on Jose Ramirez. I mean, of course, every teams will line up around the block for Jose Ramirez. I mean, like, can you imagine if the Guardians actually put him up? I mean, you look at his contract, 2026, 2027, and 2028, making $21 million, $23 million, and $25 million. He'll be an unrestricted free agent when he hits 2029. And the thing about Jose Ramirez is, man, you're basically getting him his 33, 34, and 35 season. And you look at where he is this season, yeah, we know what he's capable of as a player. He's been one of the best players in the league for quite some time, and he's putting up another really good year, hitting 301 with a 139 weighted runs created plus. But you look at the Guardians, and they definitely had their free fall for sure. They're 43 and 38 right now. I mean, they're a team that could creep into that wild card mix as well. I don't think the Guardians are going to trade Jose Ramirez. From people I've talked to, they say the same thing that cover the team. But, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's not impossible. They could trade him, but anything's possible. But, yeah, if they, I mean, Jim Bowden was the only guy that I heard saying that they would trade Jose Ramirez in. That's Jim Bowden. I mean, that's the ultimate consider your sources of Major League Baseball insiders. We got to Alex Renteria, the farm for J-Ram from the Guardians, if they're sellers. Yeah, I mean, of course you could talk about him plus Emmanuel Clase. Duran and Buxton do it. We got Bilal K. When Rafael Devers was traded, it seemed like the best kept secret because it surprised all of us. If he or Soto or others can get traded, O'Neal Cruz can get traded. Hey, like I said, I spoke to like the most prominent Pirates insider, the guy, the number one dude. He says they're not trading him. So if that changes, maybe that'd be wild. But I'm just gonna trust my source on that one. Creed Burns, I would like to see. And plus, think about O'Neal Cruz too. It's not like he's like the best player in the world. I mean, O'Neal Cruz is an average hitter, pretty much. I mean, his exit velocity numbers are off the charts. But O'Neal Cruz is someone that he's under team control for a significant amount of time. He strikes out a ton, over 30% of the time. And the Pirates, I mean, unless they have a change of heart and they really want to blow it up, I mean, they want to keep guys while they're kind of still cheap. But, all right, let's get into the plan here, though. Okay, so let's start with the pitching side. Now, the Dodgers, we know from a starting pitching standpoint, they feel pretty good about the guys they're going to bring back. And even a couple years ago when Lance Lynn came in, that was at a point when they felt like they had an okay amount of pitching and then just things fell off the rails for them. So if they're going to bring in a pitcher, I don't expect it to be a Sandy Alcantara. His last two starts haven't been good. And they're just not that top name out there that is better than what they could have. But if they were going to bring someone in, I mean, Seth Lugo, he's got a player option for 2026. He's had a good year, 2.67 ERA, 4.55 expected ERA. Zach Little from the Rays. Andrew Heaney is an interesting option. And Michael Soroka is an interesting option. I think out of that group of the second tier type of pitchers, Michael Soroka has the best stuff that has the highest upside. But I do think that the focus really needs to be in the reliever market and to add another bat. So my ranking of the relievers, number one is David Bednar. So David Bednar, from what I was told today by the Pirates insider I was telling you about, is that it is likely that David Bednar is going to be traded. That David Bednar is certainly someone that the Pirates are going to try to trade. And that's the biggest difference between some of these guys. Like A lot of these guys, it's okay, let's wait up till the deadline. Let's see what we have. Bednar, they're already putting in the work, from what I was told, into exploring the trade possibility for him. And if you look at David Bednar, here's the boxes that he checks. One, he is under control for one more year, just like it was with Michael Kopech last season. He's making $5.9 million in 2025. He's arbitration eligible through 2026. He had a down year in 2024. He started the year in AAA this season. A couple weeks after that, he was back in the big leagues, and he was great. I mean, since mid-April, Bednar has gone 28 and 2/3 innings, and he's posted a 1.88 ERA. He has a 36.6% strikeout rate and a 6.3% walk rate. So an elite strikeout rate, really good walk rate, under team control for one more season after this year, and the Pirates are looking to trade him. So Bednar is right at the top when it comes to relievers for me, along with Duran of the Twins. The difference between Bednar with the Pirates and Duran with the Twins is Duran has more years of team control, 2 versus the 1 from next year for Bednar, and his prospect capital cost is just going to be higher because Bednar did have that downward little slump that he had in 2024. So it costs you more to get Duran than it will to get Bednar, but Bednar is certainly an extremely viable option that I really, really hope the Dodgers go after. He really fits the bill. Explosive stuff, high-powered fastball, can dominate hitters, would certainly replace whatever you were missing with the injury to Evan Phillips, and then he's a backup plan if you don't get Blake Treinen fully healthy and he can't go for whatever reason, and same thing goes with Michael Kopech. He is an insurance policy and a replacement for Evan Phillips and an insurance policy for Treinen and Kopech, and even down the line with Brusdar Gratterall. Then after that, we've talked about Aroldis Chapman. Chapman has had an explosive year. He's on expiring contract. The Red Sox, the big question with the Red Sox is, will they trade? Will they be sellers at the deadline? Right now, they're 5.5 games back in the division, and in the wild card, they're sitting in a pretty good spot where you're right in that mix, right? You're right in that wild card mix in your league. So I don't think that they're right now going to trade Aroldis Chapman. I don't think that Jhoan Duran makes a lot of sense for the Dodgers, if I'm being completely honest. I think he's a little overrated for whatever reason by Dodgers fans. If you truly look at his numbers and the fact he's a negative defender and the fact that he's under multiple years of team control, that's just not a guy that, if you followed this team for years, that Andrew Friedman, this front office, goes after. That's just kind of not how they do business, especially during the season. I mean, I don't waste too much time talking about guys that I just don't think are going to be realistic options. So we talked about Will Castro. We talked about Bednar. We talked about Duran. We talked about Chapman. Then there's a couple other names like Ryan Helsley. Ryan Helsley is another guy that's a fireballer on an expiring contract. The Cardinals right now, 6 games back in their division. Yes, there's still time to make up ground there, and they're a game and a half out of the wild card spot. So will they be sellers? That remains to be seen. Then after that, you got a name that I think is a lot more realistic, and that is Kyle Finnegan. So Kyle Finnegan is a name that I can tell you last year the Dodgers were very interested in, and that they did have talks with the Nationals about making a trade for him. That's how interested they were. He's on expiring contract. He will be a free agent after this season. He doesn't have overpowering stuff like some of the other closers that we've talked about, guys that go out there and dominate you with a particular pitch, whether it be a fastball, splitter, or whatever it may be. But he's a guy that gets the job done, and he's actually put up really, really good numbers as far as, I mean, a 2.43 ERA, that's a career best. The velocity, 96.1 on the heater, that's in the 79th percentile. But really, the strikeout rate is not one of those explosive ones. He has a 19.7% strikeout rate. That's in the 34th percentile. The whiff rate in the 21 percentile. So he's not that guy, but he does get the job done. And he does it with a four-seamer that he's able to just limit hard contact. I mean, that's just kind of what he does. So he's a name they were interested in, and he kind of fits with kind of more the Evan Phillips mold in the sense that you are taking advantage of some of your secondary stuff, and you're using that four-seamer to kind of set it up. Because he throws a four-seamer over 66% of the time, but the way he sets up that splitter and that occasional slider, it kind of fits the bill with that one. Then other names to consider, Adolis Garcia. Adolis Garcia is a name that I'm going to continue mentioning until he's either traded or the Rangers decide they don't want to trade him. Because even though the production has declined this season, he still is hitting the ball hard. He's had his moments, and just look at the home run he hit in the walk-off home run he hit a few weeks ago. I mean, he still kind of brings that element, and he was really good in the playoffs a couple years ago. And I think with Adolis Garcia, the thing about him is he's not someone that you're going to have to absolutely gut your farm system and go get, but he has peripherals that will interest the Dodgers. For example, 81st percentile on hard hit percentage and barrel percentage, 93rd percentile on average exit velocity. Those are three things that the Dodgers front office looks at when they're acquiring a player. I can tell you that, right? That they look at that, and they don't care about the things that we care about as much, right? They're not going to say, oh, his batting average is this, his OPS is this. They care more about what they think they can do to that player to help them get the result that they want based on the contact that they have been getting versus the actual results that they've put up. So Adolis Garcia, I still find as an intriguing name and someone that the Dodgers could seriously consider. And then Cedric Mullins. So Cedric Mullins, I'm not out on per se, but if they're looking to add an outfielder that's going to play in center field, he's one of the few true center field options that could be available that's going to get dealt at the deadline. And from a contract standpoint, he makes sense. $8.725 million in 2025. He'll be a free agent after the season. He had a monster April, and he was good early in the year, but he's hit under 200 since then. He's been down to around league average in the last couple of years. So his bat doesn't really excite me that much. Could he be better, though, than what Miles Conforto is this year? He could. I mean, and then also what he brings to the table is he will play a premium position that I think what would that do is I think that would open it up where if you traded for Cedric Mullins, you would do it knowing that he was going to be your center fielder. And if he becomes your everyday center fielder, well, then you consider moving Mookie Betts off of shortstop to second base, and then you put Tommy Edman to the shortstop spot. And I think ultimately that is what the Dodgers should do. So I don't love the idea of Cedric Mullins. I'd rather have Ramon Laureano, who's had a much better year for them. He's hit the ball harder, plays outfield, and just has raked this season. But if that's your bag, that's what Mullins brings. But I'm not the biggest Cedric Mullins guy. I would have Laureano over him. But all right, guys, let's get into your comments on the seventh inning stretch.
The seventh inning stretch. The seventh inning stretch.
All right, we got Michael Negretti, Seth Lugo. Yeah, I think Seth Lugo would be an option if they want to get someone who's not an A pitcher, but a B minus pitcher if they lost a couple of guys or they wanted to add some depth and just give themselves a security blanket. But he's a good pitcher. He really is. I like Sirota better, though. Anthony Calismo, Doc needs to grow a pair and force Freddie to take an occasional day off. Jose says closers seem to be overrated these days. How many guys are consistently good for even 3 years in a row? I don't look at it as that, though. I don't look at it as, oh, they're a closer. I look at it as a high-leverage guy that you can play matchups with, and you're not always just by default going to get the ball for the final 3 outs every single game, right? I mean, sometimes you're in games and you're facing the heart of the order in the 7th or 8th inning, and that's when you need your best relievers. Now, I do think that when you have the best closers or the best guys that get the most saves, sometimes that comes later in games, so they're going to naturally rack up saves, but I think you want to maintain that flexibility. We've got go get Chapman and his heater, Pepe Renteria. I'd be for it. BT, Fouts, come on, Dmac. Don't open up old wounds. I know, right? Bruce Davis, no, I'll be in the Philippines. Okay, let's go down below. Trade for Snell and Trident. Hey, I mean, getting Blake Snell back is going to feel like you traded for the best starting pitcher available. Nando, my grandma's fine china sets are more durable than glass now. Oof. That's yeah, I'll give you a finish in for that one. It's a good burn, though. It's a good burn. Michael Johnson, rise up against Frisco. Are any guys going up to San Francisco? I will be there covering this series. So if you are up at Oracle Park, Dodgers Stadium North, come find me, man. Well, I'll interview. I've interviewed a bunch of people on the show. Doug, why don't we trade Ryan Ward for Buxton? Yeah, Ryan Ward is definitely kind of one of those guys that, he's closer to 30 than 20, just kind of very Crash Davis 4A player down there in AAA Oklahoma City. Bruce Davis, Roy Estrada, what is up? Let's do some more. Dmac, do you think the coaching staff has anything to do with the injuries to our pitchers? Senor Hefe, I would say 100%, 0%. Like, none. Like, when I read that about Rob Hill and Driveline, that was just kind of one of those, tell me you don't know the inner workings of baseball without telling me you don't know the inner workings of baseball. Because a couple years ago when the Dodgers weren't having as many injuries, they also had pitchers that didn't have that much upside like they do now. What has happened is the Dodgers have invested more in pitching and are willing to roll the dice on high upside guys. If a pitcher like, per se, let's use Michael Kopech, was pitching for the Astros, the Rockies, the Mets, the Yankees, or any other team, and he's still throwing 100 miles per hour, and he's still throwing with high spin rates, well, guess what? His chances of getting injured are just the same as they are as if they were with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Here's the thing, though. The best teams in baseball are the teams that have the ability to acquire the best and most talented pitchers, and those are the pitchers that are more susceptible to injuries. Just go back and read MLB's report on pitchers' injuries. The harder you throw, the higher risk you are to get injured, the higher the spin rate, the more injury prone you get. The only thing that would change things is if there becomes an organization. If there's an organization that really wants to go against the grain and say, you know what? Instead of throwing 99, 100, instead of throwing max spin rate every time, we are going to go out there and throw mid-90s and just try to locate, right? I mean, look at who's the best pitcher. Okay, who do you guys think is the best pitcher of all time? I mean, who do you really think it is? Like, for me, the best pitchers of all time, if I had to just top my head give you my list of the greatest pitchers of all time that I've actually seen with my own eyes, Randy Johnson I saw. No one is better than Randy Johnson. But Pedro Martinez in his peak was right there in that mix. Greg Maddux is in that mix. Roger Clemens is in that mix. I mean, those are the four guys that I think that I've actually seen are the four best pitchers. And then I think Kershaw is right in there. Scherzer kind of in there. But God tier, that's kind of the God tier for me, right? I mean, Clemens was on roids, but even before that, he was really elite. But still, if you look at Greg Maddux is a guy that didn't rely on velocity, right? He sometimes threw 84 and 88, and it was about late life. So, like, if you could have every pitcher be Greg Maddux, that would be awesome. But that's not always the case, right? Now it's about mowing guys down and throwing high velocity. I mean, here's the thing about Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson threw over 100. He never got injured. I mean, things are just different now just because of the velocity. So I don't think that is the case. But here we go. Let's do some other ones. Jim Abbott, best one-arm pitcher of all time from NS. That's definitely a fire take. Koufax was the GOAT. Don Davis. I think that if the aliens came down, there was one game to save the Earth, I think Koufax would be that guy, but I just never saw Koufax with my own eyes. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough for me to say that, right? I just have to be completely honest. But all right, guys, it's a dark time. So we are going to debut a new segment that a lot of you guys have been recommending, and we're going to call it Dodgers Yoda.
Dodgers Yoda. Dodgers go let's. 1 month bad does not make a season. First place team is still in. Beat Giants. Dodgers must do.
So what Yoda's trying to tell us there is 1 bad month does not make it a bad season, that the Dodgers are still in first place, and that they have to beat the San Francisco Giants, and everything will be restored. The force will be with the Dodgers this week, and we will feel good heading into the All-Star break. Okay? Next one.
Big trade deadlines moves must make. Try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
So, Andrew Friedman and this organization, they've got to be all the way in at the trade deadline. I don't want to see an August 1st where the Dodgers bullpen looks the same, where the bench looks the same. I think that they have only a finite amount of time with the current stars they have in their prime and Shohei Ohtani. So let's really treat this like the golden age of Dodger baseball and go as all in as humanly possible, okay? And once they do that, we are going to really look back on this era and say, you know what, like, they did everything they could. I don't want to look back and say, oh, wait, did they do everything they could to win championships? And I think by going all in, they will. And one thing I think that they have to accept at this point is that Michael Conforto might not have worked out.
Conforto bust he may be. Replace him, the Dodgers must do.
So I do think that they have wanted to really make it work with Michael Conforto. I don't think it is a sunk cost fallacy thing. I don't think it's because they have paid him $17 million, because the truth of the matter is, I've heard a lot of people say this about Michael Conforto and what they paid him. But when you look at where Conforto is from what they have paid for him, I mean, they have basically paid most of that down already. And the Dodgers don't really look at it as like, oh, wow, we're spending over $400 million. Wow, let's hold on to that Conforto thing. Right? Let's hold on to the Conforto thing and worry about that. Because if you look at where they're at from a payroll standpoint with Michael Conforto and what they'll have to pay for him, I mean, you basically have already paid $11.3 million of that salary. So you have $6.5 million of that left. So, yes, you're paying 110% of that because you are a 3-time offender of the luxury tax. So you're penalized in the top tier. So anything past $301 million, the Dodgers have to pay 110% tax on that. If you look at the estimated tax bill right now for the Dodgers, at $158.5 million. So that's kind of where they're at from that standpoint. So I don't think it's because they want to move off of him. I think it's because they think that there's still a chance that they could get the second half version of him, and they don't want to miss out on that. So they're going to give him every chance that they can to try to turn his season around. So that's where they're at right now. And then last one.
Mookie, shortstop, move off. You must unlearn what you have learned. Second base and right field, you would go.
So not now. I still want Mookie Betts to play. I still want Mookie to play at shortstop right now. But ultimately, by season's end, what I saw in that Brewers series really scared me. Because, yes, Mookie goes long stretches where he's playing above average shortstop. He's making all the plays, highlight throws. It looks really good. And look, if he says that it's not impacting his offense, then that's fine. But the last thing I want for Mookie Betts is for him to be in the playoffs and to be in a key situation and miss a throw like he did against the Brewers on Monday, because you just don't need it. If they were desperate, they had no one that could play that position, I would say, yeah, then fine. But they aren't desperate for Mookie to be the shortstop. I think when the postseason rolls around, Tommy Edman needs to be the Dodgers shortstop, because I want to see the best from Mookie at the plate. I want to see him in good situations defensively. And for what I was told, there's all those outs above average and defensive metrics that say Mookie has been this really good shortstop. And yes, he really has from an optic standpoint. That's not kind of what they're basing keeping Mookie Betts at shortstop at in the long term. So I do think that could change. But, hey,
Dodgers, go let's.
So that was the first installment of Dodgers Yoda, and we are running out of time. So let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
All right, today for the walk-off, my friend Hyeseong Kim getting more opportunities, playing second base when you got right-handed pitchers on the mound. Kike's out, so you got Rojas at third. You're going to get that second base love, and he's got to make the most of it. And I got a chance to meet up with him last Saturday at Dodgers Stadium. We got to hang out a little bit, interviewed him, and I asked him some of his early questions and what he likes about America so far. Here's my rapid round with Hyeseong Kim. Who's your favorite American singer?
Kendrick Lamar and Justin Bieber.
Bieber? Nice. You have a favorite Kendrick song?
팬들이 가장 좋아하는 거. Not Like Us.
Not Like Us? Awesome. How about Bieber song?
Bieber song is Pitch. 그 Pitch.
What's your favorite American food so far?
저는 스테이크랑 그런 아메리칸 블랙버스트 약간 그 뭐지? 팬케이크랑 오믈렛.
What's been your favorite road city that you visited so far?
Miami?
Miami?
Yes,
Great
Miami.
place. Favorite sport other than baseball?
농구도 좋아하고 보는 거. 다 좋아.
Soccer, and I like to watch basketball.
Who's your favorite basketball player?
LeBron James and Stephen Curry and Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Yes.
How about soccer?
Soccer mesh.
What's your go-to pre-game meal? What do you eat before games?
그래서
시합 뛰는 날에는 아무래도
I like to eat acai bowl.
Who's your funniest Dodgers teammate so far?
많은 사람들이
키케도 너무 재밌죠. 키케도 너무 재밌고 다 재밌는데? 다 재밌고 또 야마모토 선수만이 그 매력 있거든요. 그래서 재밌게 잘 지내고 있습니다.
I mean, all of teammates are funny, but I would say Yoshinobu has his own humor.
So there you go, the comment, man. That's a lovable dude, man. That is a lovable dude right there. And I think, hey, man, this is big time opportunity for him to see if he can be that dude that everyone hopes he can be and be that everyday player. He did tell me that his goal is to be an everyday player for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's a funny dude. Michael Boyer, too short of the show. We're at an hour 4. Nando, LeBron ruined the Lakers. We've got Johnny Owen. At least Moogie doesn't wear LeBron's headband. Where's LeBron's headband? But yep, guys, Aaron M says Kim at shortstop. So I was kind of thinking that. I did talk to Miguel Rojas, who told me that Kim already is a Gold Glove caliber defensive second baseman, but he needs more reps and time at shortstop to really play that position this season at a high level in the postseason. So that's just what he told me. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. If you want to support the channel, go over to gearup.la, pick up our newest t-shirts. Also, on your way out, hit the like button, drop a comment for your Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm actually about to leave, heading up to San Francisco for the Dodgers 3-game series, so we'll be doing some live shows up there. If you're up there, come find me, guys. Always ready to talk ball for you. Have a great off day. Appreciate the chat. Hopefully things can turn around. And, yeah, we got, okay, Al says, Dmac, bro, stop eating glizzies and start eating tortas. This will help get the Dodgers back in the win column. Okay, you know what? I'll have one of each. I'll have one of each, a glizzy and a torta after the show. But, all right, guys, thanks again. See you next time. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.